Hello, good morning, and welcome to Sunrise Daily today. I'm Chamberlain Uso.
I'm Ayo Makinde. Good morning and welcome.
Oh, it's a holiday. I thought you were going to follow up on that one.
Well, we are having that conversation in the office this morning. That this is the job that doesn't even have any respect for any of those things as far as you're concerned. You wake up the normal time every day. You do the normal things, the normal chores. Even there are people assigned to certain reports today for this particular.
Yeah, the job has got to go. So before you apply, just think about that. Not when you get in now, you keep saying, no, what about my... That's the way it is.
But for those who are celebrating a happy holiday.
Yes, indeed. And we hope you really make time and make it a happy one with yourselves and family. Well, today we've got Mr. Abimbola, Tooki, editor of Business World, to take us through some of the dailies here today. Good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Yeah, good morning.
Well, let's start with Vanguard today. Lekki shootings, also keeping up with that. How troops moved to toll gate, Amnesty International. And look at the riders now. Quite a lot of it, really. At 6:29 p.m. local time in Lagos, 2 military vehicles were filmed leaving Bonny Camp. Later, footage showed 4 vehicles with flashlights in a convoy, and they appear to be vehicles used by the Nigerian military and the police, Vanguard's rider. Same vehicles head east along Ozumbambadiwe Avenue in the direction of the Lekki toll gate. Vehicles arriving at the toll gate. At night time, soldiers descended on protesters as protesters continued to film and share videos of the shootings. Later in the evening, videos of victims were shared on social media. This is also ascribed to Amnesty International. And then inter-society, other CSOs laud amnesty. So quite a lot packed in here. So they're giving a timeline of what transpired in spite of all the commentary out there. So what do you make of this?
Yeah, I think, one good thing about this moment is that any of such things that happen in the public, there's no longer hiding place, because almost everybody is carrying one gadget or the other to record one thing or the other almost at every scene. So I believe as far as this Lekki shooting or whatever name it is called, I think the truth will come out because there are overwhelming evidences everywhere, and Amnesty, I'm sure they are also relevant in this case. And at the end of the day, I want to believe that the truth will be unfolded and the world we get to see what really transpired. And of course, we're also waiting for some people to be prosecuted as far as the Lekki shooting is concerned. At the end of the day, I believe the truth will unfold.
And then quite a number of items as well, just here. NSAS, why were absent at duty posts by policemen? They're giving their reasons now.
Is there any reason for police to go off duty posts?
If you juxtapose it with this other one, 6 cops dead, police, arms, exhibit rooms looted in Oyo, ascribed to the CP.
Well, security is security. The Inspector General of Police has to be up and running as far as because what is called to duty is to ensure that there's security everywhere. So there's no point, there's no hiding place. The security has to do their job, and the IGP has to give necessary directives to the Commissioner of Police to ensure that everywhere is safe. At least the situation is now under control. There's no reason why security should not be everywhere and do their job as required of them.
And then NSAS, Bond disagrees with NBC on broadcast station's 9 million naira fine. So things have just unfolded now because there was a lot of hue and cry as well when that was announced.
Of course, that is to be expected because Bond is like the accuser and the judge in this respect. What are the facts?
NBC.
NBC, sorry. What are the facts? that you have to want to sanction the media. You can't prevent the media house from doing its job, and I think this government should be very careful in the way it handles some of these sensitive matters, because when you clamp down on the media unnecessarily, it tells the kind of government you are running. So I think the president will wade into this crisis, because if it is not well handled, it can snowball into a major crisis. You know, everybody is carrying gadget that can record anything, and these are the truth that we see. Even in international media, some of these things that NBC is querying is also in international media. So why will you now say that a section of the media carry, what are your facts? I think NBC needs to be very careful as far as this matter is concerned.
Well, we also see Northern elders vow to fight for Igbo, admit Southeast is marginalized. And then to the back page, Vanguard Sports will win 2021 Nations Cup. Pinnick. Oh. Okay. What is it? Is it raising our hopes?
No, winning is not achieved on the pages of newspaper.
Yeah,
it's achieved on the pitch.
It's raising our hopes.
So let's see.
Like that on a public holiday.
Let's see. Let's see what you have.
I like the way both of you are being so pessimistic right now. He made a declaration.
That's on the pages of newspaper.
All the other teams.
Let's see what happens.
For all you care, everyone can say whatever they want. Any country can say it.
You can't just say you will win.
At least believe him, okay? We will win. That's
believe him at whose detriment. Then you raise your hopes. You get in there. You watch every match.
Do you know the amount of money that will go into
Exactly. So that's the more reason he has to give hopeful comments.
Okay. No, well, they are hopeful comments, and they are hopeful comments.
Okay.
If you say, look, we intend to do very, very well.
Be hopeful.
But you said you will win.
Be hopeful. Oh. You have not even qualified. Yeah. You are saying you will win.
How? It's speaking prophetically.
Okay.
Oh, Pinnick.
Good.
I don't know.
Let's see what goes from there.
Okay, the Nigerian Tribune is next and leads with Lekki shootings. Amnesty International warns against cover-up. We already treated that earlier. Gives timeline of events. Find that story on page 8 of the Nigerian Tribune this morning. And still on the same issue, you find all kinds of things. That image is, well, the headline is right there beside it. Wike offers 20 million naira each to families of soldiers, policemen killed during IPOP clash. You know, I think this particular one has a lot of angles to it that, you know, commenting is part of what the Northern Elders also commented on the other time, and you know, a number of regional bodies have been talking about all of that.
Honestly, it's actually something that it's a development that the media should applaud.
Yeah.
Because these people died while on national duty, and nothing is too much as compensation for these families. Even I also expect, apart from Rivers State, I expect other well-meaning Nigerians, corporate organizations to come to the aid of these families so that at least they can have that sense of belonging that their loved ones have not died in vain.
Well, this one also right under the picture you see there. Please get multiple benefits in Lagos. State to offer scholarship to university level to children of slain policemen, to foot hospital bills of injured officers, take care of their burial expenses, work towards insurance policy for police officers. Seems that Lagos State government also heard you right there on the front page of the Nigerian Tribune.
That's a good development. Very good development.
Yeah. Well, this one is a developing story. Despite U.S. opposition, Okonjo-Iweala are likely to emerge WTO DG. Well, this is kind of your forte. You know, what do you make of all of this, especially the business angle? You know,
yeah, I'm not surprised that Okonjo-Iweala emerged. I'm also not surprised that U.S. is now a kind of roadblock to his eventual announcement as the DG of WTO. Keep in mind what happened during Additional's issue. So, U.S. has always been in the clog. I don't know, but anyway, that is international politics. You know, I followed through the processes, and you can say that Okonjo-Iweala measured up to becoming the DG of WTO. But having scaled through all the odds, you know, what remains now is purely political. Okay, this is the time that Nigeria has to rise up to engage United States of America, because you need to see, it's only U.S. Konjo has about 104 member states, right behind him, out of 164, you know. But I don't know why U.S. will always constitute major problem when it comes to international relations and international politics. So I think government should actually be very proactive in this instance to ensure that they engage the U.S. authorities so that this very laudable and good position will not elude Africa as a whole. Not even Nigeria at this time, because it's about Africa this time. So it's something that is good for us. Imagine a Nigerian occupying DG of WTO. He's going to place Africa in, further in global map. So it's something that is good for us, and I think the whole African governments across Africa should rise up and engage US so that this thing can be settled once and for all.
Yeah, it would be good to see that having thrown their weights behind them. But take a look at Daily Trust next. Concerns over social media abuse. It's being used to incite violence in Nigeria. That's according to the NSA. It will be difficult to regulate now, Senator Naala. Government should not infringe on free speech, lawyer. Buhari warns against divisive comments. So we're back to this page again. Social media. What do they do with it? They're wondering.
No, you know, I listened to the comment of the Minister of Information concerning this, and come on, there's nothing government can do about this. Social media is not a Nigerian thing. It is a global phenomenon. It's not something that you want to just wake up one day and say you want to regulate. The policy is what should be the concern, not how to regulate social media. How do you want to regulate social media? How many countries are regulating social media? You know, these are the things that government should not actually concern itself about. Create enabling environment. If everybody has the environment to operate, concern about social media should be the least of government worry at this time, because it has come to stay, and there's no regulation that can halt the spread of social media. That's just it.
If the NSA is saying that it's used to incite violence in Nigeria, what are they supposed to do? Just leave it to keep
No, I'm not saying that. The point remains that, you know, government should be able to do what is needful. If you catch anybody that is using it the way it's supposed not to be used, I think there are laws that can come into play to ensure that people actually, you know, the whole thing is streamlined to ensure that people use it the way it should be used.
Football, if they abuse players, all these racist comments, if they report to the police in some countries, they go after such people. So in those cases, there are certain things, certain laws, perhaps they say, no, you can't cross this kind of line. So could it be the way we're approaching it, or the way government is approaching it, that is the issue here?
Even government is not even confident of itself. How many of them are abreast of even this social media thing that we are talking about? You know, it's not about focusing on social media. There are several laws in Nigeria that guys abuse. Any abuse, there are several laws. So all this cry about use of social media shouldn't even be in the first place.
Well, the Guardian newspaper this morning is interested in mass arrest of looters threatens prison decongestion policy. That's what you have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Ex-MBA boss offers free legal advice to suspected looters. I foresee clash between jurisprudence and state responsibility. We want to find out who said that. Mass detention cases, mass detention raises fear of COVID-19 spike.
I wonder what that free advice would be. Turn yourself in if you have anything that doesn't belong to you.
Doesn't belong to you. of what?
What do you make of this?
So before one is before arm. If you took anything that's not yours,
Go and return it.
Mass arrest of looters threatens prison decongestion policy. Well, that's to say that
so
on
the prisons
one
will
hand,
swell now.
Yes, I mean, what's all of this? Where is all of this going for you?
Well, I hope the government will be able to handle this, because even when this kind of situation is not yet there, it's very difficult to maintain our prisons, you know. And with this kind of situation now at hand, I hope government will be able to handle this. And does it necessarily mean that if you steal anything, the next thing is prison? No. I don't think so. I think there are certain measures that government need to look at to ensure that there are some you can be dealt with in many ways. It's not only prison that is the only thing where that you can punish all those looters, especially those who are found culpable in this instance. Government needs just to need to brace up to ensure that all these things are cleared and we have
And you know, part of this, because we don't even have, how do we, if there was a national database where they have records, if people have or do certain things, you know, it's just there in your record. So if you go for any employment purposes, or if you want to get into certain positions, they check your record. If those records are not good enough, then we have questions. So if that were in place, do you think people will perhaps sit up?
That is actually one thing that successive governments in this country, they have not gotten right. You know, you can imagine the kind of huge amount of money that has gone into all these registration of national ID card and what have you. How many years have we been on this national ID card thing? Several years back. Up till now, government cannot still say that we have reliable and dependable database that has captured all Nigerians. I mean, it's actually worrisome. It's worrisome.
If we have lots of money.
Yes, we have spent several billions of naira in the past. And you see, even some of these processes were abandoned after spending huge amount of money. I know some of these, I know some of the companies that are involved. You know, halfway the project is abandoned, is re-awarded, you know, on and on and on. And up till now, we are still talking about database.
And no one is asking questions
worrisome
about, you know, why.
It's not that the media is not asking questions, but after asking questions, where do we go from there?
Because the prosecuting authorities have to do what they have to do.
I'm sure even right now, the registration we have done like 2 years back is only still the paper we are carrying. We don't have the end product. You know, after several billions have been spent on the process.
Just this one on the front page of The Guardian, right under the nameplate, among 4 of them. Well, Senate panel tackles minister for citing 20 power projects in own local government area. Whoa. That story is on page 4.
Can you beat that?
That's Nigerian factor for you.
Politicians factor.
Who are the one ruling? Who are the one at the end of affair?
These guys, they need to say for what it is. That's Nigerian person.
That's Nigerian factor.
20 power projects.
And it's quite unfortunate. And at the end of the day, would those power projects work? Would they work? 20 power projects in a local government. So, I mean,
I think we should read the story and find out the name of that person.
So,
because
I think it's the Minister of Power, because in our report it was Terry that covered it yesterday and was talking about, you know, having to, that there were some projects that the finance ministry pulled money from, which they proposed but pulled money from. One of the senators on the panel was like, look, you need to jumpstart this a little further, because one, that he, at some point, he himself had to borrow 5 million naira, that's the senator, to buy something that is not his job to do. I mean, it's not his job to buy anything, to execute any project, but he had to do that because the people in his own constituency were on his case about a power transformer that had gone bad. So with one minister, according to this report now, citing 20 power projects in his own local government.
Does the president know about this kind of
A
things?
single local
for
government.
instance?
We are talking of power projects.
One person site.
Well,
So the president, if the president is not aware of this, then why is he the president?
well, maybe
20
this,
power projects in a local government?
maybe
That's-
the local government
that's
is
enough.
very big. Maybe it's as big as like Lagos State.
Well, okay, is it Lagos State that was mentioned there? I mean, these are the these are the things, you know. When you read some stories coming out from Nigeria, you develop a dick. You develop a dick.
What
I
about
mean,
that one that
it's-
Nigeria wants to connect? Is it Niger or Chad
Yeah.
to our national grid?
Isn't that, are you talking of the railway?
No, there's another
there's
one.
The
another
national-
one.
where?
For power.
Yeah.
Country, society,
About,
different communities
about
don't have access to the grid.
Even when,
And-
how many hours of light do we have even in Nigeria?
Well, speaking about the president, take a look at Daily Independence. Buhari to Nigerians, don't jeopardize our unity. Says it was won at great cost. Asks youths to shun negative tendencies. Vows to bring delinquent policemen, looters to justice. So, is he saying what? people
Honestly
want
speaking,
to hear?
if you ask me, I see President's comment as deceptive. Why am I saying so?
Yeah.
Because even if you look at the composition of government, let me also make it clear at this point that Nigeria has never been so divided than we have it at the moment. Even in those years where we have agitators from a certain section of the country, you know, but right now we have them almost everywhere. Those who want their freedom. And come to think of it, when the president is talking about divisive comment and unity of the country, what is the composition of even the government? The appointment is lopsided. There is no the appointment at the federal level does not reflect our unity in diversity. So if the government is saying that comment should not divide, what of your own government? How is it reflecting on our diversity? When you appoint people from a particular section of the country, how will you know, and you don't expect people to talk? You know, the thing has actually inflamed the entire country, and our president seemed not bothered about it. If you look at all the appointments in this government, it's lopsided. That is enough to cause disunity. And you can see past presidents, heads of state, they have commented that if we are not careful, Nigeria is moving towards the precipice, and it is quite unfortunate.
Well, the leadership newspaper is interested in the same story. PMB warns against divisive comments. Story is on page 4. Says Nigeria's unity won at great cost. Vows not to relent until peace, security are restored. Launches Armed Forces Remembrance Emblem. Social media used to incite violence during NSAS protests, according to the NSA. Ohaneze denies attacks on northerners in Southeast. That story, you'll find all of that on page 4 of the paper this morning. Police arrest 624 suspected looters of warehouses and others. You'll find that also on the front page. Continues on page 7. Says 6 policemen killed, 5 stations burned in Oyo. 3,000 cases suffer setback of a burning of court in Delta. I think that, you know, adjudication is one of the worst hit in all of this. Well, that's the leadership this morning.
Well, News Direct equally has, well, this is a different one, 240 billion naira debt. No out-of-court settlement yet with Pan Ocean Group that's ascribed to AMCON. I guess they chose a different route today, but, well, let's see. All right, I think that's it. They also have the Sanwo-Olu Awards scholarship to children of policemen who died in Lagos violence. Well, so there you go. That's just about that. But importantly, those national identity cards, those are issues that the country needs to address. We need to begin to address certain things.
Yeah.
because the needs assessment is showing out there on the streets.
Absolutely.
It's not about what the media is saying or not, or what the government thinks or the media.
What of
Look
even
at the
planning?
streets.
What of national planning?
There you go.
When
do we talk about it? There you go.
Planning.
These are basic.
These are basic things. Look, for instance, now, when was the last time we had our census?
The uncontrovertible one. In fact, from day one, we've always controverted the figures that they come up with.
Even to conduct census, it has become very, very, very difficult.
There you go. All right, that's it with a look at some of the dailies here today. Thank you for coming on, Mr. Abimbola, Tooki, editor of Business World. We will be back in a moment. Stay with us.